Pleased to be joined by Oiler head football coach Kory Allen, and trying to track you down these days. I mean, you've been logging the miles. I'm hoping you use one of those apps that like gives you back the gas or something kind of price. I mean, you guys have been very, very busy.
We've been on the go. I know that we've been all over the region and then some. Our coaches have been doing an unbelievable job identifying the right talent and the right people to bring into this program, and recruiting is the lifeblood of any successful college program.
We'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's go back to last season, and it was an unusual season in the sense that, not that coaching changes happen, because those happen every year in college football. The timing of this one was a little bit unique and different. It certainly helped that you have been a long time part of the program, but there still was a challenge in that transition.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference between being next to the chair and then being in that chair. I think until you take on the role of head football coach, I don't think you understand exactly what you're getting into. But you have some awareness. You know, you've been around it and you see it. But certainly it was a challenge, and I thought our coaches throughout the course of the year, but our players specifically, really rallied behind what we were trying to do and ended on a really positive note.
That's exactly where I was going next. Between a very tough opening schedule to begin with and those transitions, let's call it growing pains for lack of a better term, you guys got off to the rough start, and I know there was some grumbling around, but then as you point out, you guys finished it off 6-0. You took a bit of a chance, as I observed it from the outside. 6-0 with 6 to go. That's investing a lot into it, and if it doesn't work out, who knows how that goes for you at the end of the day. But it did go that way, and as a person who was there each and every week, you could see the growth and the confidence build as that closed out.
Yeah, we sat in the locker room after losing to who would be the eventual national champion again this year in Ferris State, and I told the team, I said, we're not going to lose again this year. And the next day I talked to my college head coach, my mentor, and I said, hey, 6-0 with 6 to go. I said, I got a great board with the logos on it and this and that. And he goes, great. He said, what's your plan if you lose one? I said, well, we have no backup plan here. There is no room for error. We've lost our eraser, so to speak. But the guys really did a great job. We ended up starting 5 freshmen throughout the season, and down the stretch they played winning football. We started rotating our quarterbacks because we thought both those guys had a skill set. Coaches were growing and taking on additional responsibility. We were down a coach throughout the season with the timing of everything with the hire. That role has now been filled, and so we're back to full strength. But man, did our guys do a great job down the stretch. They believed in the process, the culture of our football program, and that showed up in a big way on Saturdays for those last 6 weeks of the season.
You mentioned it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. You and I talked very frankly early on that you were going to go the season down a coach because, and to your credit, you weren't sure what you were going to need. You evaluated at the end of the season. You decided what you needed with some help at the offensive coordinator position, and you went and took care of it.
Yeah, I think you don't want to be a jack of all trades, a master of none. And, when I got started in this profession, I'm an offensive line coach by trade. That's my passion. That's where my area of expertise lies. And I've wanted this opportunity to be the head coach, and I'm grateful to the administration and Dr. Fell and everyone here at the university for giving me that opportunity. But now I was coaching the O-line, I was calling the offense, and I was running the program, and something had to go. And by being able to be in all 3 of those roles throughout the season, it became very clear that we needed someone to come in and be the offensive coordinator, to keep the offensive treads greased, as it were, because so many times during the year as we were game planning or watching film or doing anything else, I would get interrupted and pulled away for duties that are, relegated to the head football coach. And so things would kind of stop during that process. And that's challenging when it comes to game planning and getting ready. So to bring back Kyle Orzansky, someone who, I trust implicitly and understands, has been here, has been, on the staff here when we were in the national playoffs, coached Jason Moore, coached Drew Ogletree, worked for myself, for Troy Rothenbuehler, for Rob Keyes. He understands what we're about here. So the transition back here for him has been seamless, and he was able to cut his teeth for a few years as an offensive coordinator. I thought it was important that he got away from here and then made his return.
Well, and I think that's a key point, and whether you talk about it all the way around, is that he has multiple influences in this process. He was part of Troy's offense. That was not completely different than yours, but is a little bit different flavor than yours, part of that. And as you said, he went off and got some others as well. gives him a whole new aspect to his tool belt, so to speak.
It does, and now we're fully loaded. I mean, I love what we have going on with, Coach Ski's going to be up in the box calling the plays from up top, and then you're going to have, the run game coordinator and myself, the offensive line coach, down in the field, and then the pass game coordinator and the quarterbacks coach down in the field. So structurally, from an offensive perspective, we're fired up about the way this is going to look moving forward, and it gets us to full strength where we have 3 full-time coaches on offense, and myself, Coach Conklin, and Coach Rosansky to match what we've had for years here on defense, where we have Coach Lloyd, Coach Dunning, and then Coach Rev coordinating the defense. So we're back to even numbers-wise, and that's an important deal for us.
Some other things going on Oiler-wise, and some recognition as well. Michael Jarrell gets recognized. Also should mention Kajana Caldwell got recognized as well. Good to see those accolades coming, so to speak.
Yeah, Kajana Caldwell he is Oiler football. I mean, that guy, what he's done in his process through the program, I mean, came in and playing receiver, went through some adversity, redshirted, did this, did that, moved over to defense, playing corner. Hey, maybe this isn't the right fit, ends up a captain, academic all-district, academic all-American, AP All-American on the field. I mean, here's a guy who's really maximized his career here at the University of Findlay, undergrad degree in hand, pursuing his MBA. I mean, that's a guy that you can point to the young guys in the program and go, yeah, be like KJ. And then Mike Jarrell, just, very proud of Mike and where he's come throughout the course of his career, and fortunate that we have him back for one more year.
Right. Let's also talk, in reality, you kind of referenced it earlier, the nature of college football is come and go. Sometimes they go because of graduation. Sometimes they go because they make other decisions. And that creates opportunities, though, for other guys.
It does, and that's what we need to do. We need to look at our roster going into each year and identify our needs and then go attack them in the world of recruiting. And if people end up leaving the program for any number of reasons, out of eligibility, maybe an injury, maybe just not the right fit academically, or they want to enter the oft-talked about but never completely understood transfer portal, then we need to accept that and move on, because that is college football today. And so we attack that every day. Having constant conversation with our players is the most important thing we can do to see what best fits them, and we're going to go out and attack our needs in recruiting to make sure that the guys that are in this program are given the best opportunity to be successful and win a championship.
One last thing I want to talk about, a cool thing that I just saw not that long ago, your one-team youth camp that you guys got coming up. Talk a little bit about that. I think it's just going to be great.
So for us, that was something that was always done in the summer, and we decided we want to put it in February. February is a great cold month. The parents just want to get the kids out of the house, and what a great opportunity for us to teach them some football, get them out of the house for a couple hours in the afternoon, and hopefully give the opportunity for kids to fall in love with this great game and give back to the community. So in February, if you want to get a couple hours of freedom as a parent and you want them to learn some football from some great coaches, send them on over to FRC and those couple Sundays in February, and we'll coach them up.
All right, Coach. As always, it's a pleasure talking with you. I could do another 15, 20 minutes, but we got a second half of basketball.
Well, let's hope these Oilers pull it out in the second half. They're certainly on the right track.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Kory Allen, head football coach. Appreciate him stopping by. We're going to take a 60-second timeout. Come back with more on the Halftime Report here on 88.3 WLFC and the Great Midwest Digital Network.